So welcome everyone, and chaliye Vibhuti ji, let's start.
Absolutely. There is not, we never stopped. So what is there to start? That's one important part. But a lot of things are happening, boss. I mean, it's almost shocking that today somebody sent me the information about from Tufts University.
Mhm.
So there seems to be a concerted attack on Hindu students and everything related to that. And I hope you must have seen the Tufts University may.
Yeah.
There's something which is very interesting. Have you noticed that it's happening in this administration, in this country as well, that people are made to hate each other? And it was shocking when I heard that in a school, particularly in California or someplace, the teacher was making the students feel guilty about being white,
Wow.
just as we are made to feel guilty about the lousy Hindu. So there is, I do not know whether to call it a Hindu phobia or just about the hatred, because we are successful in this part of the world. So where is it coming from? And it's serious, may not be funny, but it's time for us to stand up now. If agar nahi, aaj nahi uthenge, if we don't arise now, we'll keep getting beating, boss. I
Yes,
mean,
the problem is, this is like Rajiv Malhotra calls it Hindu phobia, and this is a word I think he coined or used for the first time, maybe. But the problem is that there was if in the US there was in the US a very highly radicalized group of Muslims, and now all of them have come out in open. See, most of the Americans don't care whether he's a Hindu, or they don't even know about Hinduism.
right,
They know the good side of Hinduism, which is the yoga, meditation, reincarnation. That is the good side.
right,
But the hatred against Hinduism is actually coming from people who were ex-Hindus. So either they're Pakistani Hindus or they're Indian Muslims. These are the two groups who are spreading this hatred. We have been living in this country so long, but in this year and last year, we have seen the maximum attacks. We cannot
right,
even count actually.
correct.
So
And the attack is of a very vicious kind,
very vicious stuff. Yeah.
in which they are making us look bad people,
Mm.
despite the fact that we are the least problem from the law and order perspective.
Right.
One of the senators once told me a long time ago that we love you Indians as immigrants to this country because you are professionals, hardworking, you are highest median income, you have family values, you take care of your children, you are least problem from the law and order perspective, apart from the occasional white collar crime of doctor or whoever does it. Other than that, you guys are great. And you ask for nothing. You are not even a burden on the society. So, with this kind of a profile, we definitely attract attention. And then people begin to say, how did they do it? And I used to say this very proudly. I still say it, that Indians who are successful here, everybody is satisfied with what they are doing. This
Right.
is the only place in the world where I find Indians are united as an NRI, non resident Indians. And everybody is doing well. There is no caste consideration, nothing at all. But usko bhi ab consideration bana diya hai. Caste also has become a matter of inclusion. So what I'm saying is, to the attempt to divide Hindus is absolutely rampant.
All the see the earlier these academics were very subdued, but now these academics have become a place for creating a movement against Hindus. And yesterday only I gave a talk of idolatry. Now, see, keeping this aside, the main problem is they're going to attack the wealth of the Indian Americans. ये होने वाला है. This is going to happen. So अभी जितना भी लोग Hindus बोल रहे हैं that they're the richest and all these things is going to disappear in 5 to 10 years.
How do you explain that? I know one thing for sure, that all the Hindus who voted for Biden, they're going to pay big taxes. So congratulations for that decision that you made. Like that is a given. अब आप चाहे जो भी tax planning करें, but you will be amongst the highest taxpayers in this country now. Now, there is another very interesting thing. See, the first generation Indians who came here, they came with $6 or $8 in their pocket. They worked hard and they wanted to assimilate with the American society, and they were happy that I'm trying to become like American. So you can make out when Indian begins to speak like an American, it sounds very funny.
Yeah.
The Americanized, whether it's a South Indian or a North Indian, when they pretend to become American, the language style becomes very different. And they were very proud and happy that they who came here as Indian born confused desis, they produced American born confused desis who ended up being Hindus in name only. That's the tragedy. So you look at it this way, the storyline that goes around. I do not know what is the fact in it, that America is responsible for curtailing the supply of essential ingredients for manufacture of vaccines in India.
That's right.
Now you have 50 people of Indian origin who are working in Biden administration. I don't know if they are at all pro-India or they will become anti-India to prove their neutrality. I do not know that. That's what bothers me about us Hindus.
Most of the times you said it so well, Vibhuti, that they have actually turned anti-India because they want to please the other side.
Right,
The only problem, so these Indians, in campaigns, you can say that they are, especially in the democratic fold, if you are not anti-India, anti-Hindu, you are not accepted to the top. Period. Even the
right,
dosa lady, I won't say who, but there's a dosa lady in the Biden administration, and the dosa lady is at the top, but she doesn't like India.
right,
Just wait and watch. Wait and watch. They put sanctions on India S-400. India goes out of US. Totally.
right.
Totally.
I mean, it will be a major decision to be made by America, and I think Modi government is ready for that, because there is one thing which has happened, which people in politics do not forget, is when in the last visit of Mr. Jaishankar here, Senator Biden, Senator Harris wanted to include Pramila Jayapal in the delegation to meet Jaishankar, and Jaishankar refused to meet.
Mhm.
And now, Madam is vice president, and there people like to settle a score. I'm 100% sure that Kamala Harris, vice president, will go after Tulsi Gabbard. She was the one who derailed her entire campaign. So people in politics are vengeful. They don't forget that something. I mean, the whole platform knows that it was Tulsi who got Kamala
वो तो
with that debate jatha. So
क्षत्रियों
there is a very inbuilt dislike for Hindus. And I will also say this to you, and tell me, you are a massive author. You have been in the forefront of writing the storyline of Indian narrative, and now you have come up with the book, one shot, one kill, right?
one arrow, one kill.
One arrow, one kill. So that is the U.S. Special Forces motto: one shot, one kill. So that's a beautiful narrative you have given, and I would definitely read the book. I'm a fan of yours. You may be not a fan of mine, but I'm a fan of yours. I have nothing to offer you to become my fan, but you have offered lots of books to become your fan, and I applaud you for that. So tell me here, what is this? Where did you get the inspiration for one shot, one arrow, one kill? And what's this story about?
See, this inspiration came from Sri Ram, actually. So when I used to read Ramayana, and I used to see other people talk about Ramayana, especially when you read Valmiki Ramayana, that time, my faith dropped completely when I was watching it. It's so slow. I said, Bhagwan Ram could never be so slow. And during the last 10 years, as I was reading, not long time, I've been planning this book, but this is my seventh now. So
Mhm.
I wrote this book thinking of presenting Sri Ram in a different way, the way he was. So Sri Ram came for only one purpose, to kill Ravana. That was the only purpose. And in between, he did many things which we love him for. And this is all the side things. But the climax of Sri Ram, even though he stayed a very long time after the war, he was at the age of 35, 36 when the war happened, 37 maybe. And after the finishing the war, he stayed for a very long time. But there is not a single arrow he missed ever. That's I love that about Sri Ram. And when his hands would move, his hands could not be seen, and his bow assumed a circular form. So fast his hands will move, it will just look like a circle. And he would stretch till the ears and then release it. So many things attracted me, and therefore I wanted to write this. But one thing I've done in this book is I've captured all the global coordinates with the today's pictures, what is described. Like if they say Udaigiri, where is Udaigiri? Udaigiri is in Peru and it's South America. That's the easternmost boundary of the east direction. And so, like that, I've captured all of them and presented to the audience to view themselves and check out. And one thing I've done is if they say where it is written, I've written that also.
You've
So,
given the reference.
references.
That's that our whole philosophy is evidence based.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it that you know Krishna Bhagwan has a name called Sham. His other Sham means dark skinned.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about it that every black should become a Hindu because this is the only faith that has accepted Lord Krishna's name as Shyam because he was Shyam Varna. We know that. Nobody needs
See,
to tell us that.
see
And
Shira.
Mahakali, it created in me an awareness which people may not have heard or recalled. It created in me Avenger the Last Game. Check the movie out,
Mm.
where all the Avengers assemble and each one comes with his own attribute to defeat the evil which had superpowers. That's the story of Mahakali. And she becomes black for a purpose and a reason, right? And that's how we say that the ultimate destroyer of evil was black, Mahakali. Her name is Kali. And the reason for her becoming black is also there. There is a reason why she becomes black, right? And why the tongue is out and she was trying to kill Rakta Beach. So there is a tremendous amount of storytelling which is relevant in modern world, that if you want to destroy an evil, all the good have to join hands because the good has each one has its own talent. And that Avenger movie is a remarkable tell all, that how the entire power of all the Avengers, the everybody comes together to defeat one single enemy. And that's the important part that we have to learn from Hollywood and tell the Americans that we are closest to nature and closest to life, and it is based on evidence. This is
No, one,
seriously funny. The Hollywood Avengers the series created in me the awareness that how various gods at various points in time came together to defeat a particular enemy who had been bestowed certain talent that nobody could do anything about it unless until everybody joined hands.
see, one thing is my book, all my books have been written. One theme is common. It's in education for the politicians to protect dharma. All my books, 7 books. Now, in this book, Ram speaks very less in real life. He hardly talks, but his arrows talk louder than him. So, so even the Vanar Sena that he collected, like the message which Ravana got. I mean, to imagine Ravana's power in today's world is like USA times 10,
Right.
and that was his
Or
power.
China times 10. I will call China Ravan here.
They have no control. Like they are nobodies practically. If Ravana was living, they will be ruling America in any way. And so so they have no control over that kind of person. Like
Right.
it's out of control. But Sri Ram, the resolve and direction and talk and focus, tremendous, tremendous.
Right.
Once it was started going, and he did give chance to Ravan to surrender. But see what is happening today in a Hindu Samaj. Most of our Hindu Samaj doesn't listen, doesn't read. See, when you're fighting with a Rakshas, you have to fight only one punishment is given to Rakshas, dand. सब माफी का जमाना सब चला गया.
Chala
You
gaya.
have to, you have to just
Yeah.
Sam Dam Bhed is used only when there is you're dealing with a civilized person.
Right.
When you're dealing with the Rakshas, you should use only one, Dand. It, Narad Muni says it, Vyasdev says it. So anyway, I'll bring you to one attention. The submarine of Indonesia is still missing. And I think we know that it has a malfunction. But did you know the which navy in the world had the power to search it out or has the power? Nearest navy?
It's
Indian
India.
Navy.
Yeah.
Indian Navy sent their submarine finder, which can find up to 650 meters under the
Right.
surface. And
No, no, it is very important for us to be, you know, talking about Dand and Sam Dand Bhed. One of the
this is
lessons that I learned from Ramayana and Gita, Mahabharata, the policy of appeasement never works. It
right.
didn't work. And to fight for dharma, you refer to dharma. The politician has a responsibility to follow dharma. And therefore, if you do not follow dharma, then you are going to be defeated, even if you are on the wrong side. However capable you may be, but you will lose eventually, whether you are Bhishma Pitama or Dronacharya or whoever. You will meet the end, maybe the end of your choice, but that's where it is.
Yeah.
And we have to now, like kind of begin to do that. I'm very happy to inform you, just as you on the Ram Navami day was yesterday, just as you launched your book, we launched with Sanjay Dixit ji, Jaipur
Yes.
Dialogue. We have officially launched Jaipur Dialogue USA.
Wonderful.
And
Wonderful.
रामनवमी के दिन हमने श्री गणेश कर दिया.
Very good. Very good.
And
Very good.
believe it or not, the first program we did was just a chat to
Ah,
talk the purpose. But the program that I do every Wednesday with him was about the Hindu students and on US campuses.
ah.
What kind of a bias is running there? And it has been very well received, and we will continue to do that, creating awareness and building the narrative of unjust. We can't tolerate injustice, and we must quell ignorance,
True.
that ignorance that exists in our mind. That's what it is.
So there is a lot of options before the Hindu community.
Right.
See, one of the options which I feel is that they should work together in each of the campuses to make our students stronger. And the second is like the Hindu community should also tell the universities to have to make completely stop sponsoring these universities from India.
Right.
Let
Right.
them have other background. See, the thing is, the day America starts losing Indian students,
Yeah.
American industry starts coming down.
Right.
Period. So Americans know it very well. So
Yes.
they have to come and defend their economy. So we, as an American, Indian American, we have to also show the Biden administration that you are working against India
Yeah.
and or Indians, and then we have to work like we have to start the Gandhi civil disobedience movement. We do that.
I
So
have said this. I have said this, that if Biden administration goes against India and weakens or tries to weaken the India as a democracy, it will come back to recoil on America itself. Because there
big
is
time.
no other country in the world that at people's level admires America. And Americans are taking us for granted. And that's what annoys me.
The problem with the American society and the American politicians is they have, like any other country, short memory. And one thing I must tell, the regular Caucasian Americans are different. They have seen, they have earned money through Indian professionals. And I think they will definitely listen what is going on. It's a total hate campaign in the universities against Hindus. Total hate campaign.
Right.
And the only way it can stop is if the Indian government starts de-recognizing universities. Like for the Tufts University, Indian government should say it's the statement which is working anti-Hindu phobia. We have to de-recognize and we pass an advisory to the Indian families not to go to Tufts University. Tell me it's once it passes, it's gone. It's done.
I'm so happy to hear what you said, because I am telling Indian students that you please don't come to the United States universities to study liberal arts, spending $70,000 per year and whatever kharcha, spend that much money to begin to hate India. When you are taught to hate Hindus and taught to hate India, you don't need to spend that much money. You are better off doing some skill development part of it, which contributes you to a life better than to study a liberal arts thing. I'm totally against that. I'm recommending that to people. I've also said to Rutgers University, I said there are so many Hindu university students in Rutgers. Let some of them take transfer, get out of that place. If they are willing to tolerate a clear Hindu hater in the name of academic freedom, that itself should be challenged in the court of law.
That's right.
What does academic freedom mean? To peddle falsehood just because it is an interpretation of history? That's not freedom. That's a lie. You know, that's Hitler's lie right there. So we have to contest that.
We have to contest as a society, and also the US is into also double problems with the Russia. The Black Sea intervention by the US
Right.
forces has not gone well, and the Russian forces are on the borders with Ukraine
Right.
and
And they have
Georgia.
issued their own threat: don't cross the red line.
Yes,
And the Russians are very serious because Biden has called Putin a murderer. Like when you call somebody a fellow national leader a murderer, you did not call that to Pakistani leadership. They kill people. There are so many other countries where violations are happening of the worst kind, and you tell a nuclear power which was your number two country in the world, you can't take pangas with them. They have equal power to destroy us as well. So there is a point in time. There was a guy called Stephen Cohen. He was a Jewish guy from Russia. He was always talking about the detente with Russia. And he said something very interesting. I have heard him speak when he said whether he was not a Trump voter, but in Los Angeles, in a very serious function, he said Trump may or may not know the reality, but he does end up telling the truth. So when he is talking about being friends with Russia, he's saying the right thing. After all, Hillary Clinton also tried a reset. Even Obama said to Medvedev, let the elections be over and I will have more flexibility. Nobody knows flexibility about what. Yeah, games are played in high places. Maybe he will never be able to know. But even Bush said that I look at Putin and I see mystery in his eyes, honesty in his eyes. So everybody has been trying hard to become friends with Putin. And Putin is not a dud. He's a smart guy.
very
He's a very smart guy. Whether you like him or not, agree with him or not, is totally irrelevant. But the point
it's
is, somewhere
if,
along the line,
just
right,
imagine, like, if the Indian government, for example, any of the foreign government starts calling American president as a killer,
right,
what happens to America?
right,
Will America bomb them? I'm telling
right,
you, America doesn't have the capacity to bomb anybody today.
correct,
They don't have the money to send $1 million per missile to send it out. They might last for a few days, but the repercussions can be very heavy,
very heavy,
very
very
heavy.
heavy. You are right. I mean, US is as it is. Let me tell you something. US has actually, as an American, I'm saying this to you. United States has no genuine friend in the world.
Today.
Everybody wants America gone
Yeah.
because they don't like the arrogance. जिस पे मर्जी उस पे सैंक्शन कर दिया. आप ये नहीं सोच रहे कल को आप पे किसी ने सैंक्शन लगा दिया तो क्या करेंगे आप.
No, just imagine if India, Russia, and China somehow if they meet and put sanctions. So right now, with the Quad, they have divided India away
Right,
from the rest of the people. So now, suppose India wakes up and says, Indian anyway buying the S-400, let US put the sanctions, there'll be reverse sanctions on USA. That
right.
is for sure. So, but if India, Russia, and China put sanctions on the US, China may or may not, but American economy is gone. There'll be
Gone.
poverty and there'll be riots in the
Yeah.
US without money. And
नहीं
the
नहीं
American government
अब
can print as many
अब ऐसा
dollars as they
है
want. Yeah,
आदित्य जी ऐसा है कि अगर रशिया ने चोक कर दिया एनर्जी सप्लाई टू जर्मनी जर्मनी विल फ्रीज टू डेथ
true.
दैट everybody knows that right yeah so it is like that चलिए आज
चलिए
की मुलाकात बस इतनी.
चलिए
And
आज
we will keep this going
या
every alternate day kind of thing, right? So
सैटरडे में
Thursday, Saturday, and Tuesday, right?
Tuesday. Yes, that's right.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Wonderful. We don't
Thank
want to create an overload, and real pleasure to share. Congratulations for your book. I'm
thank
going to download a Kindle and read it. 350 pages is long. I know that.
you.
I'm a slow reader, and I'm right now. I finished the book of Sanjay Dixit ji and did a book review with him. I'm now reading my brother's book. I want to do that thing, but I've decided to drop that because the relevance is over.
Right, right.
The relevance is over, but I will catch up with you.
ठीक है
Thank you,
नमस्कार
viewers. Thank
नमस्कार
you, viewers, for joining us
ठीक है
and enjoy the conversation. Give your feedback, and it's only through feedback that one gets better, right?
and it is funny sarcastically
Seriously funny.
seriously funny
We will try to be. Like there are times when you can't be funny. Like but then serious issue. But try
Mm,
to see the fun in it, and then things matter. Because what we said today was important.
that's
US
right.
better watch out, because if tomorrow China declares that we will not accept dollars anymore, you have a serious problem for America.
Yeah, even India can do that because
Even
India
in
is
the
launching the RBI digital
right,
currency Lakshmi.
correct,
So India may also do that, and this
right.
day is not far.
There is not far. All right, we'll talk about it again.
All right, thank
Yeah,
you.
there is always tomorrow.
Yes, namaste.